The global water crisis. A thirsty world on the brink. This isn't just an environmental issue. This is a crisis of survival. You are about to hear something that may shock you. The next world war might not be over oil, land, or religion. It could be over water. Yes, water, the transparent, tasteless, priceless liquid that sustains life itself. While you enjoy clean water from your tap, millions walk miles for a few liters of muddy liquid, from megacities on the verge of collapse to farmers watching their lands crack open. This is real, and it's already happening. This is the story of Earth's greatest crisis, a planet of water running dry, why water is becoming scarce, how it's affecting our planet and people, what could happen if we don't act, and what solutions are still within our reach. The great illusion, a blue planet in crisis. From outer space, thirsty cities dying, rivers appears as a vibrant blue planet covered in oceans, lakes, and rivers. But this image is deceiving. Only 2.5% of Earth's water is fresh, and nearly 70% of that is locked away in glaciers and ice caps. That leaves less than 1 accessible for human use, and that tiny amount must serve 8 billion people. The illusion of abundance has blinded us to the harsh reality. Water is far scarcer than it seems. Where did all the water go? We haven't just consumed water, we've wasted and poisoned it. Agriculture consumes over 70% of all fresh water, often inefficiently. Industrial waste, leaking infrastructure, and pollution have further reduced what's available. Climate change, deforestation, and overpopulation have accelerated this destruction. As rivers run dry and lakes disappear, the world is quickly approaching a dangerous threshold of water scarcity. Major cities around the world are experiencing unprecedented water shortages. Cities like Monterrey in Mexico and Basra in Iraq have experienced riots over water shortages. Dying rivers, empty dams, and shrinking lakes are becoming the new normal in many urban landscapes. Rural struggles, walks for water, and crops that die. In rural areas, the crisis is even more severe. Women and children in many African and Asian countries walk for miles daily to fetch water, often dirty and unsafe. In East Africa, prolonged droughts have wiped out livestock and devastated farming. In Yemen and parts of Central Asia, shrinking water sources have triggered conflict and displacement. Entire communities are being uprooted, not because of war or politics, but because their water simply vanished. How climate change turns the tap off. Climate change is fundamentally altering the global water cycle. As temperatures rise, snowpacks melt too quickly, rains become erratic, and droughts intensify. Glaciers in the Himalayas, Andes, and Alps, lifelines for billions, are retreating rapidly. Seasonal rainfall patterns are changing, leading to floods in some places and prolonged droughts in others. Climate change is no longer a distant threat. It is now a direct cause of water insecurity across the world. Beneath our feet lie aquifers, underground reservoirs of fresh water. These ancient water stores have taken centuries to fill, but are now being depleted in just a few decades. Countries like India, China, and the US are overdrawing groundwater at unsustainable rates. Industries thirst. How our choices waste water. Every product we consume has a water footprint. A hamburger, around 2,400 liters. Fast fashion, tech devices, and processed foods all consume immense amounts of water during manufacturing. Meanwhile, industrial pollution contaminates rivers and lakes, making even available water sources unusable. The way we consume and waste water is pushing the planet toward crisis. As water becomes scarcer, it's increasingly being used as a tool of control and power. In Syria, drought drove mass migration and unrest, contributing to civil war. In Iraq, contaminated water has sparked deadly protests. Water is no longer just a resource. It's becoming a weapon of survival and a trigger for conflict. The cost of contaminated water. Over 2 billion people still lack access to safe drinking water. Contaminated water leads to deadly diseases like cholera, dysentery, and diarrhea, the latter killing over 500,000 children annually. In poor communities and refugee camps, waterborne illnesses are rampant. Even in developed nations, cases like Flint, Michigan show that water contamination can still destroy lives. Clean water is not just a basic need, it's a matter of life and death. The future we fear, a thirsty planet. If current trends continue, global water demand will outstrip supply by 40% by 2030. By 2050, more than half of the world's population may face water stress. Food production will drop, cities will dry up, and migration will surge as people flee unlivable conditions. Imagine a world where children grow up never knowing a full glass of water, where farms fail year after year, and where conflict over water becomes the new norm. Signs of hope, innovations that can save us. Thankfully, innovation offers hope. Countries like Israel have perfected drip irrigation, conserving water drop by drop. Desalination plants in the Middle East and Australia are turning seawater into drinking water. Rainwater harvesting and greywater reuse are catching on globally. Technology, when paired with policy and awareness, can lead us out of this crisis if we embrace it fast enough. Individual choices matter. Fixing leaks, conserving water at home, eating less water-intensive foods, and supporting sustainable brands can reduce our personal water footprints. Every drop saved adds up. But change must go beyond individual efforts. We must collectively reshape how society views and values water. Water is not infinite, it's not free, and it's not replaceable. We must treat it like the precious resource it truly is. The role of governments and the world stage governments play a central role in solving the water crisis. They must invest in water infrastructure, protect natural water sources, and enforce strict pollution control. Smart policies can prevent waste and promote conservation. International cooperation is critical, especially for rivers shared across borders. The time has come for water to be treated not as a local issue, but as a global security priority. Water and justice, the moral crisis. The water crisis isn't just about supply, it's about inequality. Slum dwellers often pay more for water than those in affluent neighborhoods. Marginalized communities are hit hardest by shortages and contamination. Access to clean water should not depend on wealth or geography. It's a fundamental human right. Addressing the water crisis means addressing social justice, environmental equity, and human dignity. If we ignore the warnings, we will enter a future of escalating disaster. Entire regions may become uninhabitable. Millions could die from famine, thirst, or disease. Economies would collapse under the weight of water conflicts and failed crops. Even those in water-rich nations would feel the impact through migration crises, global instability, and food shortages. Doing nothing is no longer an option. The cost is simply too high. A final drop, what the future demands of us. The global water crisis is real, urgent, and intensifying, but it's not irreversible. We are the generation with the knowledge, the tools, and the responsibility to change the course. Through innovation, cooperation, conservation, and justice, we can secure water for the future.